In the twilight years of Halbith,
an ancient land cloaked in mist and shadowed by foreboding forests, the people whispered of an old prophecy that spoke of a king's end. It was said that only through the death of a king could peace finally reign. But the words were vague, leaving the kingdom uncertain whether it spoke of his death in battle or the demise of something darker within. Still, those who remembered the prophecy dared not speak openly of it, lest they invite the wrath of the king himself. For King Eric was a man to be feared. King Eric, known once as Eric the Beloved, had risen to power on promises of justice and strength. Over the years, however, those promises gave way to cruelty. His conquests expanded Halbith's borders, his wealth grew boundless, and he reigned with a mixture of terror and allure, a charismatic tyrant. The fires of battle seemed only to harden him, his desire for control burning ever hotter. His throne room became a hall of gold and blood, lined with the armor and weapons of those he had vanquished. He surrounded himself with mercenaries, soldiers who followed him for coin rather than loyalty. Even his council of advisors had grown silent, their tongues bound by fear. As the years passed, Eric's darkness spread across the land, a shadow that seeped into the lives of his people, who grew poorer, hungrier, and more fearful with each passing day. Taxes became tributes. Young men were conscripted to fuel his endless wars. The forests that once gave life to the kingdom were torn apart, and the rivers turned red with blood. Among those who suffered was his own son, Prince Eldric. Once close, Eric's paranoia and hunger for power drove them apart, and Eldric was banished from the castle, left to live among the very people he had once helped rule. Here, he grew to understand their suffering, seeing firsthand the devastation his father's rule had caused. When he was finally pushed to far, when he watched families torn apart, children starving in the streets, he knew he could no longer stand by. So Eldric began to rally an army, not of paid soldiers but of the disillusioned, the oppressed, and the forgotten. These were people with little to lose, men and women with nothing but a desire to see an end to Eric's reign. They trained in the forests, sharpening their weapons, forging alliances. Eldric knew the war would be costly, that many would fall, but he believed Halbith's only hope was to unseat his father, even if it meant spilling royal blood. Winter came, harsh and biting, as Eric's forces prepared for the rebellion's approach. When Eldric's army appeared on the horizon, Eric felt only disdain, sneering at the ragged force that dared challenge him. Yet as dawn broke over the battlefield, he realized this would be no easy victory. Eldric's forces fought with a desperation and fury born of years of suffering.